I really didn't want to do this video because this is right after the fact, but I'm making a plea, and that is for all males who, have had trouble in the past with attracting women to go ahead and completely nix any plans of any further approaching or any attempts to approach that may come up in your mind. And I'll, explain why. Also, let me again stress this. I'm referring to males that, such as myself, have had trouble attracting the opposite sex in the past. Because, let me explain my mindset. I am a person who tries to see the positives in things. If I do a little bit of this today, this might happen later on. If you go to college and you pass all of your classes, you'll get your degree. If you go to work at a job and you keep saving your stuff up, you'll get more cash. If you, uh, just anything that I understand will not be done in a day, a week, or a month, I can accept. And what's so bothersome is that as I've sat here and worked on projects and different things that I've done, even if it doesn't perform to the level of the interest I wanted people to have for it, I can still say, okay, well, at least I was able to see this through and get it done and be finished with it. Now, if you move on to relationships and anytime one doesn't work out and it doesn't last or, I don't get anything out of it, it's a failure. For example, I made a video a while back about this young lady that was interacting with. She's not young; she's only about the same age as me. But I was interacting with her on this app, and we both live in the same state. And I was talking to her a little politically, and I asked her about one of her opinions. She blocked me off, and didn't block me as in turn but decided not to answer me in relation to that question that I asked her. Just state your opinion on address it or refute any of the arguments against it. That's constructive. But she didn't answer back, so I said, all right, well, I'll just not speak to her anymore because I got nothing out of that relationship. We can't. Obviously, it's not going to be romantic, and we're not even talking on a platonic, friendly level. We're barely talking at all. And when we do finally get to talk, you don't want to talk about the material at hand. The relationship is a failure. And that's kind of what I'm trying to point out to males here. That's my opinion or my perspective on relationships. I would argue that if you are a person who has relationships with, say, friends or family members, people if you're a straight guy, for example, you're not going to go after another straight male. So the relationship is a success because the two of you are friends and it's as far as you probably want it to go. Or even if it isn't, you still, can talk to this person or try to talk to that person more. Now, if they, it's something where you can still look back on it and say, I'm glad I had that relationship. It went as far as at least close to as far as I wanted it to go. With this game of dating, I've seen and been with speaking with several women at a time who you will talk to for weeks, months, even a year, and they still will not budge. And I'm not trying to say if I talk to you for 100 days, I am now entitled to dating you, but that's the problem with associating yourself with romance in this manner or form right here. If you talk about it, you're entitled. If you don't talk about it, you're gay. You just can't win. And you can say that that's probably the result of shooters that we've seen who felt the rejection or whatever. But after a while, it just gets so ridiculous. Not every male who complains and is frustrated about something in particular is going to be disillusioned to the point of going out and committing an act of terror. And that's part of the reason why I felt this reluctance in even speaking about this and relaying how I feel in relation to dating so many times, because you can't even do it without somebody accusing you of having some ulterior motive, or oh, this is the video before he goes out and does this. And I understand where it comes from, but it doesn't change the fact that it lessens my wanting to go out and try and do something different, other than just quit. And even if you quit, people are going to accuse you of homosexuality, or being something that you aren't, with no proof. I mean, I'm the kind of person that if I see you make out with another person of the same sex, that's usually when I can go and, put a cap on the suspicion or theory that that person is homosexual. I just naturally assume people are straight. The majority of people, at least in the U.S., are straight, and I don't see anything wrong with assuming that. Um, it's not even something I'll bring up and or talk to you about unless you state that you're not. And it's so irritating to look at all of these different facets of my life that I can see get better, and I can at least, credibly hope and think and feel will change for good. And then you look at the relationship thing, you just don't see it change. And I realize that yes, you can argue that might have to do with me, but I'd also say that everything else that changes for the good has to do with me. If I end up getting some, you know, college degree, that was because I was willing to go and stay the course and go through college. If I end up just being on some board or somewhere where I have leadership, that was for me rising in the ranks. And that's basically what I'm trying to convey here. With romance, just with any particular relationship you have, it is dependent 50% of how successful it will be on the other person. It always is. It takes two people to form a relationship. If I call you and text you and all these other things and you don't respond, how much at fault can I really be for this, going under? And I'm not trying to say that automatically you're evil if you don't respond to me, but I am saying that I get tired after a while of trying to keep these things on life support and reach out over and over again when you won't do anything in return. And really, what the conclusion I have here is that with these other parts of my life that I see, improving to some extent before me, I'll continue to try and improve those and leave this romance thing in the woods where it deserves, because I'm tired of feeling a sense of hopelessness in this one facet of my life, you know? So that's just how I feel right now. Thank you for watching and have a good day, rather.